I don't want to sound like too much like an advertisement. This place is like the most dialed in place I've ever seen. I mean, they've thought of absolutely everything. You see it on social media, it draws you in, you sign up, they engage with you. The entire experience while you're here is just like completely considered. You guys have created an amazing organization and incredible customer experience here.
In 1990, I was an exchange student in Australia and I saw surfers. And I thought, why the F am I not surfing? Basically, that was it. What am I doing on the beach?
We met up in California and we both discovered that we were interested in learning to surf. But we weren't even a couple, and we said, let's just do this. Let's just experiment with this.
For me, I don't surf that much back home, and I can't surf at school in college. So it's nice because it's like a week, specifically of surfing where I actually get to surf.
I would go out with my dad every now and then. I feel like I understand the mechanics, but then here you actually get to put the time in and put into practice what you think you know, and you realize you don't know it.
I grew up on the Gold Coast. For some reason, never got into it as a kid, but then during COVID, kind of everything was shut down, but you could still go to the beach and surf, and one of my friends convinced me to come out, and I got the bug, and then I've tried to keep it up since then.
I ran into a guy at an elementary school function where our kids were going to school, and he was a neighbor. I didn't really know him very well. And he asked me, what do you like to do for fun? For whatever reason that day, I just said, hey, I've really been thinking about getting into surfing.
Aside from the being in the ocean and the exercise, I think there's a mental component. And it's the one place where I can be in the moment and just not think about anything outside of surfing.
I love the ocean, and when I was a young girl, it looked like all those boys were having a lot of fun.
I moved to Malibu, California about 22 years ago. So I started surfing then, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I was on a board and I was paddling. I came here and I learned how to surf. Killer.
We had different coaches, both of us this time, but I was actually working on a lot of the same things, but it was just reframed in a new way. Every coach has their own ways of teaching, has their own ways of talking, has their own demeanor, everything. And I think in the beginning, I was a little concerned that I was working on the same things, and then had to check my ego and realized, well, it's an opportunity to learn and solidify the same thing in a new way. And I really appreciated that. Thank you, Teal.
Even if it's a bit more intimidating, we can go ahead and get speed from taking off through that white water. Yeah.
Jose was my coach. He's incredible. I went from, occasionally catching a wave and not knowing why, to being able to hunt and understand where to take off, and then to actually catch the wave and ride the face. And could not be happier.
All right, up riding. Front foot center, align. Hands over the rails, heads up.
He was incredible. The couple of the key things to focus on this week for me was functional stance, which really opens up the rest of the skills that you'll have to learn. A lot of work on picking the right waves, positioning on the waves. When you're taking off, how do you stay in the power center of the wave? When do you want to stay high or stay low? And during the week, kind of already started to feel the impacts of that and really felt myself getting better. It was kind of cool.
Gabriel was my coach. Great guy.
Riding, I really want to see today a little more of this and avoid engines, right? This is gonna get us some balance. Gonna be nice and centered with that hip absolutely forward. If you feel unbalanced at any point, you can go past that. A lot of different beats. So sounds good. You sit there, don't come. There, don't.
Keep telling the story. Keep telling the story.
My pop-up is like a disaster. So I came in saying, hey, I really need help with my pop-up. Mechanics are all wrong. Pop into my knees. And yeah, he really helped me he coached me through it, and I made some real progress this week.
Surf Simply is really focused on every single customer having a fantastic time. And so even if you're a non-surfer, Surf Simply wants to know what you want to do. And so you need to come to Surf Simply with an idea about how you want to spend your time so that they can help you. And for me, I wanted to focus on yoga and Pilates this time and fitness. And so I did classes all around Asara, and they were great.
Honestly, my favorite thing is just hanging out, sitting on the couch and just reading, watching, seeing them work in the kitchen and the love and the work they put into it. Everyone else who takes care of this place and makes it so clean.
I love the massages, but I think my favorite is the food. It's always delicious.
I think it was just the team activities. I mean, eating together, I appreciated the fact that there's attention to detail, changing where we sit on the table every meal. The classes are fantastic. The passion of the people that are teaching us is incredible. And then, just spending time together. And it's ironic that, in our group, I believe there were 13 of us. And when we had our one night off on our own, 11 of us went all out to dinner together. So we might as well have just had it here. Luis, why didn't you cook for us?
It's interesting that for me, the coaches made a huge difference, even though I wasn't surfing, because I'm here with my family. And to have an amazing experience like this with our girls and with Shartan, I know the coaches from last year, from when I was surfing, and they were so lovely, just, picking up from where we left off. And so, Jessie was another one that made a huge difference. First signed me up for all my activities, but then we connected on a number of things, and I was able to hang out with her a little bit. So I would say Jessie and Ellie and Will, because Will was my coach from last year and we hung out a little bit. And Diego, because Diego made the good cocktails.
Lastly, on behalf of all of us, every department, coaching, kitchen, stretch, everything, it was such a pleasure to host you guys this week. Watching you guys charge some pretty solid waves was our pleasure, and we'd love to see you guys back down here again as soon as possible. We love you. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Everyone is so kind and generous here. It's just a really nice community.